Personally, falling into title now 20 years ago, I never imagined I would love it as much as I do. It is transactional. It is, you're working in an office, working through files, but it's so much more than that. It's the relationships that you build internally and with our clients. I mean, some of my clients have become some of my closest friends. We've been able to add, I have family members I work with, some of my best friends, and it's a super, super fun industry. It's something that people don't know a lot about, but being able to help people buy and sell houses, the biggest investment they make, it's fun. It's fun. It's rewarding. You get to see people grow. You have people, when people call, 8 years later, oh, is your phone number still good? I'm like, yep, and we're still here and we can help you. It's really cool. Buyers and sellers, when you're buying every 5 to 10 years, it's not often, but now that we've been around 15 years, we are seeing a lot more of that, where we'll see a buyer and then they'll refer us to their son or daughter that's buying a house. I mean, that's the ultimate compliment. When you get somebody that you worked with 2 years ago and it just seemed like a normal, smooth transaction, but they remember it and they take the time to reach out so that you can help their neighbor, their family member. It's great to be able to do that. We get more and more of that right now, because somebody who bought a couple years ago, interest rate might be 4%, and now it's at 2.5%. So being able to work with people again through that refinance process, that's another great opportunity that we have to reconnect with those buyers. A refinance is a much more streamlined process. You're dealing with one set of borrowers and a lender. It's a lot easier on our side. You're not dealing with sellers and realtors and just more parties. And especially if it's somebody that we've already worked with, we've done the work in the past few years. So it saves the consumer money, it saves time, it saves headache. We would have cleared any title issues from when they bought, so nobody has to go back and redo that. So the fees are lower because there's not as much work that's involved, but we still try to make it a super smooth process. It just comes down to when it's ready to close, we'll come to you anytime, any place, and we don't bill for that. We're one of the few agencies, in the market that doesn't charge for that. So, that's been a core that we've believed in and offered from the beginning. We want to make it as smooth of a process as possible for our buyers, borrowers, sellers. Technology is a differentiator for Ohio Real Title. It has been for the past few years. It really, shown through the past year. We are fully cloud-based. Our closing software is cloud-based. Our staff can work remotely, has worked remotely. Most of our staff is back in the office, but they have the flexibility that they can log into the system and do their work from wherever. That's not the case everywhere. When an office went down 2 months ago from a snowstorm and had no power, it was not a big deal to relocate the staff to other offices. Those closings that were happening that day and the next day didn't just have to get pushed back. We were able to adapt because of the technology and the infrastructure that we've put in place. Our earnest money deposit tool on our website, where buyers can ACH their earnest deposit, directly into our escrow account. That makes it super convenient for the realtors. You're not going and trying to track down the earnest money from your buyer. It makes it easier on our team. We're not having to go pick up those physical checks, right? And it's a really nice, smooth process for the buyers, borrowers, when they're putting that down. The remote online notarization, having somebody that is out of the country or out of state and they don't want a notary to come to them. The fact that we can do an online notary for the seller on the deed has been a great tool the past year. So we continuously look to try to bring additional tools and resources for our team and for our clients. With our joint venture, yes, members join because you get quarterly distributions, but that's not the reason people stay. They join us because they feel that we provide the best combination of service and fees and getting the deal closed. And when that happens, and you have that trust level with us and us with you to become partners and really cement that relationship, it works wonderfully. I think what's exciting when you look at the strength of the real estate market is the millennial generation is a very, very large group of people. Right? I mean, it's way bigger than Gen X. It's, similar to baby boomers. And the past few years, millennials hadn't really entered the home buying market, but we're seeing more and more of that, especially as people move away from cities and dealing with challenges that can lead to. They're buying their first houses. So there's a huge population, a large buyer base that's going to be entering the market. So I think that the real estate market is really, the future is super bright.